Today we're talking about what are the signs to look for in a man if he's going to be, a good long term life partner.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to very much put out there that what is good for me might not be good for everybody.
Right.
So I don't want to sit there and say like this is absolutely how somebody has to be.
Right.
I'm more talking from my experience. So for me, I think I've said this before, communication is so big. So like I'm definitely looking for somebody. First of all, like you should be treating me the way that you would treat me if you were dating me. Like that's kind of how
Right
maybe
off the
it's
bat.
not. Yeah, I think so. I really do think
Okay.
so because women like that. Like women like a lot of attention and affection and appreciation and validation. I think I have that in my profile that like dating
Yes.
is like every day
Yes.
is Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And I get the stupidest fucking comments. Sorry for the swearing, but I get the stupidest comments of guys being like, "Oh, so what? You like to have a lot of sex and like eat a lot of chocolate?" And I'm like, "No, I just." That day is a day where you make your person feel special. And I think that you should be doing that every
Every
single
day.
day.
But
So,
I will say that like you can't necessarily say all women want that, right? Because a lot of women and a lot of men like they want their like alone time too. Like they don't want to be with that person every single hour of every single day.
no, for sure. For sure. Like, I don't want to be with my person every single hour of every single day. I mean, I like to be with my partner a lot. I'm not one of those type of people that like I need to go to the other room to go watch a TV show or something like that. Like I like to genuinely
Do
do
things
things with my
together,
partner.
right?
But what I'm just trying to get at is like I think everybody, guys and girls, but mostly women, we want to feel special. We want to feel like the priority, right? So I want to see that a man is putting in the effort up front. So back to that. So definitely, yeah, the effort. And then are they trying to ask me questions and get to know me other than like, hey, what's the weather like? Like, like how was your day today? Like ask me something interesting, like, hey, what's your favorite sweet treat? Or like you should be trying to get information from me so that you're trying to plan our next date or
Right.
something, you know? And
So you
then
want like the pretty woman treatment. You want a guy to like do all the sweet things, like get to know you,
yes,
get to like figure out what makes you happy, and then like go after those things to make.
absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. And I
Absolutely.
think like most women probably want that, but there are some that I think want like their own space as well. And I guess sorry, that's I'm assuming that I'm assuming that you mean like you want somebody to like wait on you like hand and foot, which is true to an extent, but you also want your alone time too.
Yeah, I don't want somebody to wait on me hand and foot by any means, but in the long run, I'm looking for somebody that wants to genuinely get to know me.
But you,
Like
you also mentioned like you want to be like a passenger princess, so you expect like the chival. I can never fucking say that word.
chivalry.
Yeah, well, the chivalrous things like so like a man drives, right?
Yes.
And that's fine. Like it's fine to want that. I think that you can't say that for every woman, but like
No.
but yeah. And then I think we should talk about if a guy doesn't pay on the first date,
Oh
that's a
yeah.
major thing for you.
That is a huge thing for me.
And me too. Like I would never do that. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that would be like it's going back to like caveman times. It would be like, sorry, I can't provide you with fire and shelter, like the very basic things that a human needs to survive. So just I think for the guys out there, I know we're like like equality. Obviously, that's like a big thing, but like be a fucking gentleman if you can. Pay for the first date.
Yeah.
Like that I think is like I the best advice I can for anyone who's dating at any age, pay for the girl. Like I think that is like I think we can agree on that. Some
Yeah,
people
for sure.
may disagree with that, but I do think like we're a little bit old school. I think it's the better way to go.
Definitely. And I mean, for those people that are out there that are dating just to, I guess, have sex or whatever, I don't know, maybe that is, but like I mean, I'm a little bit with that saying of like if he's going in you, then you can go in his wallet. You know what I mean? But
I
but
love it. It's very
like whatever. Yeah, but if you're dating, like that's another thing too. Like I think we talked about that. Like you should be dating really like one or two people, not like 50 people. So I understand if you're dating five or six girls and now you got to pay for all these women. That would be fucking tough. So
yeah, it would
guys,
be.
that one's on you.
That's true.
Like
But I think that goes back to our point is like, if you're looking for a potential life partner,
yeah.
you want someone who is focusing on it feels like they're even if they're talking to like two or three or whatever, like that feeling of like you're the priority obviously is something that needs to happen,
Absolutely.
right? So I think that's like obviously a good sign is if that person would make another life partner. Like, what are some other signs that you would look for in a guy that would, be someone that you could potentially see spending the rest of your life with or the rest of your days with?
Right. So we'll go to transparency. Transparency is huge. I don't want to have to figure out somebody too much. Like, I'm going to ask
Right.
questions, 110%. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to ask the questions I want to know. You already know I'll ask the hard questions off the bat.
Right.
I'm trying to get the hard shit out of the
So
way.
so honesty, that's like a big thing.
Honesty and transparency. Like, I want to get to know my person. We were talking a little bit about schedules earlier and like what your days look like day in and day out. Same thing with my partner. Like, I don't want, if I'm talking to somebody, I don't want to go a whole day without talking to them. And then they sit there at the end of the day and be like, oh, sorry, I had a really busy day. Tell me up front, like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm going to have a really busy day today. I'll try to get back to you sometime tonight or something. Like, and that's another thing. Like, if you leave messages forever, that drives me fucking crazy. Like, if you're like MIA for like 5 hours, that is nuts.
So you want to call.
It could be a call, it could be a text message. I don't care. But
Okay.
like, how do you go MIA for so long?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Like hypothetically, I need to go on a business trip, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone for 4 days. What kind of communication is like the bare minimum?
Oh God, there should be daily communication.
Yeah, I get that, but like, what
Yeah.
a daily phone call,
Well,
a
that's
check in
it.
at night, like, 'cause like everybody's different, right?
Everybody's different, right? Like that would be something you guys would have to navigate through together. I think it depends on where you are in your
But I'm asking
relationship
you,
at
like,
that time.
like I'm asking you right now, like personally.
If it was you
Yeah.
right now and we are talking the way that we are, so just to be very clear, we're not in a relationship.
No,
So
we're not.
you don't have any real commitment to me, but for the sake of me feeling like I am something to you, definitely like a good morning and good night. And maybe you'll talk to me a little bit about your day, like, hey, like I had all these meetings today, or like whatever,
Via
and
text
then we
message
went
or a call.
that. You know what? If you're away, like I could deal with text messages.
Okay.
I mean, obviously it's nice to get a phone call because me and you do talk
Yeah, we
often.
do. We talk a lot.
So
That's good to know.
yeah,
Because like, yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, like with my ex, like if she would go on a business trip, or I would like sometimes we wouldn't talk for like days. You know what I mean? But there was also like that level of like trust too, where it's like, look, I don't want to mess. Like you might be going out with coworkers, like it's like you do you. That's your own time. Like you're on work, you're on the clock. Like that's cool. But like everybody's different. You know what I mean? With you, you're like you obviously want that daily communication, which is not a bad thing at all. But I think it's important to establish that
yeah,
early on.
right, absolutely. And I
that's
think
a good. I guess that's more like communication, right? To like what to look for in like a good
Absolutely.
person or a potential partner is communication.
absolutely.
Anything else that we're missing off this list? Like, what do you look for in a guy?
What do I somebody that wants to make my life easier. So, like say for example, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to put away all my patio furniture and da 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 da, and like just say it was you. I'm mentioning this to you and you say, hey, like, you know what? Like, why don't I come help you? Like that's fucking amazing. Like, yes, that's what your partner as a man, I believe that's what they should be doing. They should be
I agree
offering
with you
help.
100%.
So if somebody's listening to you say stuff like that and they're not even like, like
What can I do
saying-
to help you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I'm so
And I think
done.
on the other part, if the want to not to, like let's just say you were like, I'm moving my patio furniture, and if I didn't want to help you move that patio furniture, I feel like I wouldn't be that into you. Do you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And I think that's good. So it's like like wanting to do nice things for the person that you could be potentially dating. So that's another sign.
Absolutely.
What are some signs that are immediate no's for you?
Immediate no's. Oh boy.
We're like, this guy's not going to be a good life partner. I can tell.
Once again, we'll go to distance and scheduling.
Right.
So
So
whether
schedules need
it's
to
work
align.
schedule, have to align because if I'm
Even
working,
if you like meet like this dreamboat guy, like you're very attracted to him, and the schedules just are off, you're like, that's an immediate no.
it's an immediate no. I've tried. Like
Right.
if so, say for example, let's
So
just
you
say
wouldn't make the effort because it's not impossible, right? Like schedules can.
No, I won't.
You won't.
I
Okay.
won't, no.
That's
No, I won't. Like, so for example, if a guy worked, let's just say that he worked 7 days and then was off for 7 days and then worked 7 nights and then was off for 7 days, could be a cop. Just throwing that out there. Could be so many different things, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
right.
The schedules, they don't align, even though like they could for those potential 7 days. But how many people are okay just seeing somebody 1 or 2 days out of a month? Because that's essentially what it would be, because
Right.
they'd be trying to
That would be the
alternate.
potential, right? Like you obviously that could vary, but
Yeah,
yes.
because they're trying to alternate back to their days or night shifts or whatever, right? So like, yeah, everybody has lives and whatever. So it's definitely good if if your lives somewhat align already.
Right. But I mean, that's
Um,
like schedules. I feel like that's out of the hands of like most people. I'm talking about like what can guys do to like, like portray that they could be a good life partner.
I think we pretty much talked about
All of
everything. And then it's just qualities. It's if qualities align. Like, so for example, like if you didn't work out and, didn't want to eat healthy and didn't want to do certain things that I want to do, like that's just life in general. Like if you
So like
were
lifestyle synergy.
lifestyle. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. It has to be there.
You have to be aligned, right? Your
Absolutely.
interests somewhat have to be aligned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For so many different reasons. I think another thing too, and I totally forgot to put this out there, is like how much is the person willing to look at themselves and change whatever it is, like whether they need to change it for themselves, for their health, or for their partners or whatever. And like, are they willing to actually, this is a big thing with men. I don't think men are really always willing to listen to a woman and not take it as a woman is sitting there trying to tell them that they're a horrible person. So, and just that they're actually trying to tell them that, you know what, like I love you, and this is what's really, not working in our relationship, or this is what you could do better. Because I think a good woman is really always trying to make her man be the best
Version of themselves. Yeah, of
exactly,
course.
right? So that's a big thing. Like, is somebody willing to do therapy if shit hit the fan? Like, is somebody, are they into self-help books? Like, that's a huge thing for me, at
Right.
least, right?
So making like that sacrifice, right? Because we all
Absolutely.
like I think that's what relationships are, right? You need to be able to make that sacrifice for each
For
other,
sure.
and it's important to show, especially off the bat, that you are willing to do those things, right?
Absolutely.
I agree with you on that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are some of my things.